are listening to Sea Lunch Sports. This is Kennedy Curley with the other hosts, Hayden Klinkhammer and Ian Sellers. We have a lot to talk about today. First off, shout out to Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Shout out Tiger Woods.
We have to, but we're probably not going to talk about that. But we have a lot of NBA to talk about, and so we've got the MVP that we're going to go ahead and start off with. Right now, the race is down to James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I believe Steph Curry is in it, and Paul George is another consideration. And then I guess if you want to add anybody in, you can. But we can just go ahead and start talking about who the MVP should be. And I want to start. I don't care. Who wants to start?
You can start.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start. So y'all are going to hate me for this, but I think it will be James Harden, and I think it probably should be. I think that his display of offense this year has been phenomenal. I actually don't like him. I really think that his flopping is super annoying, but I also think that there's a lot of brilliance in his offense. He's a very good three-point shooter, very good at getting to the rim, and very good at both setting his teammates up and, of course, getting to the free throw line. Defense is a little bit of a concern. I wouldn't be mad if Giannis won it, but I just think when you average 36 points a game, and that hasn't been done probably since Kobe, when he should have won the MVP, I'm going James Harden. Just barely.
All right. Interesting.
Go ahead, Hayden.
I agree with you. James Harden will win it, but I don't think he should win it. But I definitely agree with what you said. When you do the things that he's able to do, no matter how you feel about him, it's impressive. I agree. He gets a lot of ticky-tack type fouls, but, he's a good offensive player. So, yeah, I'm going to go James Harden, but very close.
Flash the ring.
Yeah.
Who do you think should win it?
I think Giannis should win it because he's been the best player on the best team all year. So,
yep.
And I think he plays both ways a lot more than James Harden does.
That's fair. That's the only thing that I think really holds me back. I say James Harden, but in my mind, it is it's very tough. James Harden offensively, I think, has been the best player in this season. From a number standpoint, absolutely.
Best offensive player, but I don't think he's been the best overall player.
Yeah. So, you can go ahead and talk about that right now.
Yeah. So that's part of what mine is y'all. I do agree with you. James Harden's been the best offensive player, and you know how I feel about James Harden before we even start. But I think Giannis is going to win because, like Hayden said, he's been the best player on the best team, and he plays on both sides of the ball. And he doesn't frustrate me to watch him like it frustrates me to watch James Harden. It's aggravating to me. And I know I'm not the one picking it, so that's not going to matter. But I think Giannis has been the better player, not the better offensive player, but the better overall player. So that's why I'm going with him.
Yeah, I think for me, it just evens out because Giannis is better closer to the basket. He doesn't shoot as well, probably not as good of a passer. Defensively, he's clearly better. But what he makes up on defense, James Harden also does really well in passing and being able to stretch the court. So
I agree with that.
It becomes closer because James Harden's offensive versatility matches Giannis's overall versatility. But I think that Giannis's overall versatility probably gets Bucks further in the playoffs because he has better weapons around him who can make up for his lack of shooting. Whereas I think it's harder to make up for lack of defense, at least in the playoffs. But I don't know. I don't know if y'all have any more thoughts on that. But I think it's James Harden.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if either one of them won. Right now, if I had to pick one, I'd probably guess that Giannis is going to win. But, if James Harden turns around and wins, it's not going to surprise me at all. So
I'll be honest with you, too. I thought that I'll be the only reason I'll be a little bit mad with James Harden winning it is because I didn't think he should have won it last year. I thought LeBron should have gotten it. I thought LeBron did. Actually, yeah, Hayden, did you think LeBron should have won it?
You already know he did. Don't even ask him that.
No comment.
No comment. I see. Honestly, I don't. I don't want to always hop on LeBron's bandwagon, but I do think that he should certainly. I think he did more last year, but we can move on. We have a little fun thing that we're going to go ahead and do with the playoffs. So game one for 4 teams has already happened, and the Celtics are playing right now.
They're
So
up by 20. We could go and lock that one, I think.
We unfortunately weren't able to get it going before the playoffs started, but we're going to go ahead and do playoff predictions with those games.
Are we doing first round, or are we doing all the way to the championship?
I'd like to go all the way to the championship.
I'll do all the way.
Do that. Let's do it.
Yeah. So best 2 out of 3 will move on, and we'll go round by round. Each person will chip in, and then we'll move to the next to the next series. I should say series by series. And so I guess we can go ahead and start at the top of the West with the Warriors and the Clippers. And to me, I don't really think that there's much to discuss here. I think the Warriors will see the Clippers.
I think, yeah.
I don't think that the Clippers, ever since they traded Tobias Harris, I think they kind of took themselves out of moving on to the next round consideration.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors are too stacked. I don't think the Clippers, even if the Warriors have a bad game, I don't think that they're going to lose one. So
no,
got to go with.
Y'all see Stephen Curry last night?
Oh,
I could not miss.
Oh, we'll get into the Warriors. We'll get into the.
Does that hurt a little bit? Does that hurt a little? Hey, hold on. Disclaimer. Yesterday, Hayden texted. Was it yesterday that you texted us and you said, "I think the Warriors are very beatable"?
Yeah, that was yesterday, I believe, in the morning.
That was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday morning, and then they come out and play, and Steph goes like 9 for 12 from 3 or something like that.
Steph Curry is the best point guard in the league.
Ian,
he's the best point guard in the league. He's the best shooter in the league.
Yes.
Ian, who's the Clippers?
That's a lot of things.
I didn't say they were going to come out and lose to the fucking Clippers.
I know you didn't, but you were like they're very beatable. And
last
night, do you think after last night's game they looked beatable?
They're still beatable, yes.
But
they are more beatable. They are more beatable this year than they have ever been.
Probably, but Steph Curry is the best point guard in the league.
I agree.
Kevin Durant is top 3 in the league.
I can't stand Steph Curry, but I have to admit that the dude can shoot the basketball. Holy crap, he can shoot.
Yeah. Do you what is your prediction for the first series?
I have the Warriors sweeping the Clippers.
Sweeping.
Yeah.
Sweep.
All right. Perfect.
Let's move on to the next one.
Jazz.
The Rockets and the Jazz. This is interesting. Yeah, you sound like you want to say something, Hayden.
That's tough.
See, I really want to pick Houston in order to make my claim yesterday look good.
What was your claim yesterday?
When I said that the Warriors are beatable.
Oh.
So it's going to be Houston. Does it?
No, I didn't say that. I said they're beatable. They're beatable.
So who's going to beat them?
It's a cumulative. We'll get there.
Kind of like when I said Duke was beatable and I was right.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I was right, and it's okay.
You're probably wrong.
All right. I'm going Utah in 7.
Ooh. Kenny, you know how you always say I'm not a LeBron fan. I don't want to be on the LeBron's bandwagon too much, but you'll say positive things about him.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I do with Golden State. Like, I'm definitely not a Golden State fan, but I feel like I hype him up so much on here that people watching is going to be like, yeah, he's on the bandwagon. That's a Golden State fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so much that. It's just respecting
I hate it, but I have
good
to.
they are. Yeah, it's just respecting how good they are.
Yeah. The way I see it, I hate Kevin Durant, but this season there are times when I see him do things, I'm like, oh my God, like I freak out, and then I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I hate that guy. Why am I admiring? But it is admiration. As a basketball fan, you can dislike someone and still respect their skill. You can separate the person and the player if you have enough admiration for the game, and so I think that's all we're doing with the Warriors. But yeah. So I don't know. As far as the Rockets and the Jazz go, I'm going Rockets in 7. And I have them. I think this is actually going to be a very fun series to watch. I'm excited to see it tonight. But I don't know. I'm just not sold on the Jazz. You have
You sound like you're a little sold on them if you're picking them to lose in 7.
But the thing, I'm not sold on the Rockets either. I think that they're both good. I'm just less sold on the Jazz. The Jazz, Donovan Mitchell's good. Rudy Gobert's good. Everyone else, they have a solid role. Team around them and everything, but I think that the Rockets have a little bit better experience. James Harden, I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop him. Chris Paul said there's some experience. Mike D'Antoni's offensive brilliance, I think, will get them past Utah. I think there are a lot of things, and then you also have home court advantage. I think that ultimately might be a tipping factor for them, but I do think it's a close one. So I do have it going to 7.
I really don't know. I think it's definitely going to be close. You guys got it right in 7. It could be 6, but it's probably going to be 7. I should give it to Houston because of the whole home court advantage thing. Game 7 would be in Houston.
But
I'm gonna go with the Jazz.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Jazz.
I'll both be wrong.
Hey, I just said it's gonna be really close. I could be wrong, but
I also have it going to 7 games, but
maybe my Houston hatred gets in the way just a little. But I'm trying not to let it. I think Utah's got a very good chance for the series.
Yeah, I think
James Harden doesn't get his little fouls in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We've watched him disappear playoff after playoff after playoff after playoff.
But not first round after first round after first round after first round.
Yeah, we've also seen him ball out in the playoffs.
When?
It's been a while.
Early rounds. When they almost beat Golden State, he played pretty well, didn't he?
Did he play well in Game 7?
He
played well
Chris
in Game
Paul
7, but he played well in the series, didn't he?
Game 6. Chris Paul missed Game 6 and Game 7, and they lost both. Is that a coincidence? I think not.
But he played well, though, didn't he?
That's brought up a lot, but I want to point out that Houston was winning games by only 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 without Iguodala, and that might have made it to where it was only a 5-game series even when Chris Paul was playing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a close series.
We talk about this series way too much.
That was a very
it was good.
Changed a lot these days, but I guess we can move on to the Trailblazers and the Thunder. This is another. I actually think the West is very, very competitive this year, outside of the Warriors and the Clippers.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think that this is probably the most even team, or even conference that we've seen in a good few years, honestly.
It's been a long time.
It's
been a long time.
It has been. Do you have any thoughts, Ian?
On this series or on the West in general?
Oh no, just the series. The series.
I'm gonna take. We're talking about Portland, OKC, right?
Yeah, Portland and Oklahoma City.
I'm going Portland in 6.
Okay.
Portland, okay. Yeah. OKC's got a few players that are very well, and you've got Paul George in the playoff race, so they look flashy. You've got Russ; he's always going to be Russ. But Portland is definitely the better team. I think we already talked about that earlier, but
interesting. Kennedy, would you like to handle this, or do you want me to?
I'd love if you could go first, actually.
Okay. Lovely. Ian, it's funny that you made that statement that Portland are a better team.
Yeah.
Because I heard that a lot last year. Oh, this is the year Portland's going to be really, really good. Really good.
You hear that a lot. You hear that a lot.
Ah, interesting. And then they go into the first round and they play the Pelicans.
AD.
And they get diced up by Drew Holiday and Rajon Rondo. I have Oklahoma City winning in 5.
Whoa!
Oh, man.
Portland's a good regular season team.
Yeah. No, I'm on the fence on this one too. Like I said, I think that this is a very. Where did Ian go?
Oh, hold on, guys. This is gonna piss everybody off. Hold on. All right, the ice machine was not near as obnoxious as I thought it was going to be. All right, my bad. Continue.
Good. Yeah. So I have to go with Oklahoma City as well. Portland is a relatively good. Well, I think that they're a good regular season team as well. They haven't sold me on their ability to move past the first round, or really just win in the playoffs in general. I guess they won one first round victory when Chandler Parsons was on the Rockets, but I don't really care about that. The Thunder, I think, while they slipped up toward the end of the season, I think that Westbrook and Paul George will be out on the floor quite a bit.
And just so you know, going into the playoffs, they won 5 straight games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're starting to find themselves a little bit. I just think that their star power is better than the Portland star power, and I'm going with Oklahoma City in 6. I think that they'll take one game on the road. One of the first 2 games, probably win the next 2 games at home, lose game 5, and then take one game. Yeah, take game 6. I think it will go something like that. Something like that.
I think Dame is going to be just short of a triple-double tonight. I think C.J. McCollum goes off for 30-something.
What I would be interested in seeing is, so Paul George is he's not a point guard or a shooting guard, but I think they could put him on one of McCollum or Damian Lillard.
They're going to put him on probably both at some point.
Yeah, they'll probably put him on one or 2 of those and make the other have to carry the team, because Portland doesn't have anybody at small forward who's a legitimate threat. And Paul George has been playing outstanding defense this whole season. I think that will take Portland out of their rhythm for at least a game or 2 on the road. And that's where I think that the big difference, at least I could be wrong, maybe they won't put Paul George on one of those 2, but as someone who sees Paul George and sees his defensive, his performance this whole season, I think that you probably should go for that at least a little bit. I don't know. But, yeah. So I guess we have Oklahoma City moving on that round?
Yeah, we'll go with Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Steven Adams better pack a lunch because he's going to have a hard time down low.
Yeah.
With who?
Steven Adams isn't really that big of a part of that offense in the first place, though.
Who's going to give Steven Adams a hard time, Ian? Nurkic?
Who the fuck else?
The bum Nurkic? All he does is
the All-Star?
What?
Wait. Was he an All-Star?
No, he wasn't an All-Star.
He might have been, actually.
All-Star. Pretty sure he was an All-Star. Yep.
He was? He was an All-Star?
No, he was not an All-Star.
Now I've got sure to look this up.
Now I have to look this up.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was.
Very interesting. No, he wasn't. Dang, I was about to say he already has more All-Star.
What do you know? Ian makes another dumb comment.
Hold on. I think he was.
Most definitely was not.
I think you're thinking Jokic.
Yeah,
No,
I think
not
you are
Jokic.
thinking Jokic.
No.
Oh. I think
All
he
right,
has the
but
same
no, he
amount of,
wasn't an all-star. He wasn't an all-star, but he should have been.
yeah, he has the same amount of All-Star appearances as Mike Conley. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but he'll have more here pretty soon.
So that's Portland and Oklahoma City. We can go ahead and go with the Spurs and the Nuggets. I think we've all got the benefit of seeing the Spurs win Game 1, and so that might change our opinions a little bit. But I know for myself, I was going to go with probably the Nuggets in 7 originally, and having the benefit of seeing Game 1, I'll flip that to the Spurs in 6. I'll go with the Spurs. I think all along this one was an intriguing matchup because both of them are very much ball movement, team oriented type of offenses. Just one of the teams is coached by one of the greatest coaches of all time, also led by DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, two very good veterans. And to me, I think that will put them over the edge against Denver, who's still a pretty young team, pretty talented. But I just think that we even saw last night, Denver had an opportunity at the very end to hit a mid-range shot to put them up wide open. Most of the time, that's going to be an automatic shot for a player who can shoot. Jamal Murray is one of them, and he missed it. That's not a knock against him, but I just think that experienced players don't really miss that shot. I think that the Spurs will end up taking it in 6 simply because now they have home court advantage, and that's where I stand on that series.
You want to go ahead, and you want me to?
Go ahead.
God, now I'm worried about what I'm going to say because I feel like you're ready to tear me up now.
Don't worry about Hayden. He's not going to tear anybody up.
Yeah. He didn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Hayden, there's someone in your house.
Yes. It's my dog and my bae.
And your bae.
Oh,
Vomit
tell
in
Jen I said
my
hi.
mouth.
Kennedy says hello.
Hey, Jennifer.
Oh, hey.
Ian says hello. She rolled her eyes.
Great.
Favorite.
I don't blame her. I'm going to go with Denver in 6.
Denver in 6. Okay.
Yes,
Oh, so you think the Spurs won't win one more?
Yes, I think they're only going to win one more. I don't think the Spurs are a very talented team. I think Denver's definitely the better team. And, Denver is an inexperienced playoff team, and San Antonio's made, like 17 straight or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So going into Game 1, they're obviously going to be the more prepared team. So it didn't really surprise me that they won that game. But I think when it comes down to it in a 7-game series, I think Denver's much more talented, and I think it'll probably show. Starting in Game 2 on, what is that going to be tomorrow, Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Should be tomorrow.
Yeah. So I think they're going to win. And I think they'll probably take over the series after that first game. Just because, I don't know. I think they're definitely the better team. That's all I really got. Hayden?
I have Denver in 6. I had them in 5 until, yesterday. San Antonio, I knew it was going to be tough.
Yeah, they'll be tough.
Because, the Spurs never make it easy. It doesn't matter who's on their team. I mean, I never thought I would call DeMar DeRozan tough, but now that he plays under Greg Popovich, he has to be tough. So I have Denver in 6.
And if it wasn't for a Pop, I wouldn't be giving San Antonio 2 games.
I wouldn't either.
One more thing I have to mention, I think that this is very big, is in the regular season, the best three-point shooting team percentage-wise was San Antonio. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're in a three-point shooting league. You know who was the worst three-point shooting defending team in the league all throughout the regular season?
I'm going to guess the Nuggets.
Denver. So I think that an experienced team in the playoffs who is playing against a team who has the worst defense against what their strength is, I think that will be a very contributing factor going into.
My next question for you in terms of 3-point percentage. How many did they make and how many did they take a game?
I'm looking at it right now. It says they took 9.9 3-pointers. Or no, sorry, they made 9.9. They took 25.3. And as far as making, see, now it just did something weird, but that's got to be probably middle pack.
Yeah.
But still, obviously, number one.
I thought the volume would have been lower, but interesting. All right.
Well, I guess that takes us to do we want to do the East first, or do we want to continue going through the West?
Let's finish the West, just while we're on it.
Yeah.
Go with the West?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so then we have, let's see, we said the Warriors and the Jazz. Is that what we had going on? Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Good night. Bye, Utah.
Yep.
5 games.
5.
Golden State in 5.
Warriors in 5.
Golden State.
Like, I don't one of them.
Golden State in 6.
Were you thinking about saying 7?
Yeah, he was.
I
thought about it.
I was, just based off the fact that how you beat the Warriors is you play physical with them.
That's how you beat the Warriors. This laptop. I was going to reach through this screen and somehow just punch you in the face.
Oh, get ready then. Get ready
7.
then.
6 is a stretch, but you almost said 7.
I almost said 7, yeah, but I'm gonna go 6.
Can Jen?
Because the talent.
Jen, smack that dude.
Kennedy wants you to smack me because I picked the Warriors.
Jennifer, let's go.
Jen, do it.
Elbow.
Yeah.
Come on.
Smack his ass for the viewers.
She doesn't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, she does. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's what we needed.
What you get.
Everyone, all of our 5 viewers are so happy right now. He got smacked.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm the villain. That's literally what I do.
Yeah. Well.
The Warriors win in 6, and it's close. A lot closer than it's going to be.
Okay.
Next time, I'm gonna have Jen smack you again. Probably in the finals. Maybe in the Western. I don't know. I'm gonna have her smack you.
It's probably gonna be in the Western Conference Finals. I guarantee you, he's gonna need a big old smack the second we get to the Western Conference, and I know exactly how it's gonna happen.
Hayden.
Yeah.
Don't do this to me, all right? Don't make me do this. All right. We got. Who did we say the Thunder or the Trailblazers?
We said the Thunder. Thunder and Denver.
Thunder and the Nuggets.
Yep.
All right.
Now that OKC is here, I think they are the more experienced team and maybe the more talented team in the matchup against Denver. I think Denver's inexperience really starts to show in this round now. And OKC, if they beat Portland, they're obviously better than I gave them credit for. They're the OKC team that they should have been all season and what they should be going forward. So I'm going to take OKC. Paul George balls out in this series, and they win in 6.
I'm also going Oklahoma City for the same reasons. Actually, I would go as far as to say I think that if Oklahoma City makes it to round 2, I think they beat either the Spurs or the Nuggets.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that if they played the Spurs, I think DeMar DeRozan versus Paul George, I think Paul George would beat that up. And if they play the Nuggets, I think that Donovan Mitchell.
You're ready to smack me again.
Oh gosh.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay. If they play the Nuggets, then I think that Donovan Mitchell might make things a little bit challenging on Russell Westbrook. But once again, I think Paul George is someone that it's hard to guard both of them. And I still have respect for the Oklahoma City bench for the most part. Dennis Schroeder's still on that team, and he's done a fairly good job this season. Steven Adams is a physical player who has playoff experience, and I don't think that the Nuggets' playoff experience. That's the reason I have them losing the first round in the first place. It's the playoff experience, but I think that the Nugget or the I don't think that they'll be able to get past two teams with the little experience they have. Maybe next season, they could be a great team next season. But go on with your trash. Hayden, where's my trash can? Actually,
I agree with you all on this pick.
oh thank God.
Yeah, I know he agrees with us here. This isn't the one I'm worried about. I know exactly what's going to happen after this. That's my issue.
I have Oklahoma City winning in 5, maybe 6.
Let's high
I'll go
five
6.
right now while we still can.
I'll go 6. I'll go in 6.
All right, me too. OKC in
All right.
6.
All right. So now
OKC, Golden State.
Warriors in the OKC. Hayden,
You sure you want me to go first?
go ahead and get it out of the way.
I'm gonna go because I don't even want to talk after what I hear. Golden State in 5. I don't even want to say anything else.
Hayden, get it out of the way. I'm already tired of being here. Dog.
Go ahead,
Kennedy. No. Kennedy, go ahead.
Hayden, what's your dog's name?
Tori.
Tori, get over here.
He's
Tori.
got the AirPods in. Tori can't hear you.
Okay, get Tori. I'm just
Tori.
kidding. Don't do it. Tori needs to smack you. All right.
Light his face off.
I'm going the Warriors in 5.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Maybe 6. But no, there's
Maybe
nobody's
6.
stopping
Probably
the
not.
Warriors in the West.
No.
It's very even from seeds 2 through 8. But the Warriors, from a talent standpoint, way better. They shoot the 3, way better. Their experience is way better than everybody, and their chemistry. Although in a down season, no.
Wait.
Their chemistry in a down season still has them as a 1 seed. They've been playing with each other for a very long time. Their chemistry is going to be fine in the playoffs. You know this.
It is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, and also let's just talk about they'll be rested because they're just sweeping. They're sweeping teams left and right. So
Actually, they're not sweeping teams left and right, and
they're-
Utah's going to be physical with them, even if Utah gets swept.
yeah,
They're gonna win the finals, and they'll probably lose a collective 4 games,
3 or 4,
3 or 4 games,
maybe
Oh.
5. It's getting crazy over here.
maybe if the
So
team pushes them, they
blasphemous.
lose twice.
Yeah. Get it
So
out of the way.
blasphemous.
Go ahead.
So in 7 games,
So you're saying it goes to 7?
it goes to 7 games, and I have the Oklahoma City Thunder losing in 7.
Oh! At least you're not that stupid, Hayden. I know you're dumb, but I'm glad you're not that dumb.
Hey, for the suspense that you just made me go through, I still should have you smacked. I should still have you smacked.
Jennifer!
But it goes 7. It goes 7.
All right.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Why.
Kennedy, your biggest reason for the Warriors being so unbeatable this year is DeMarcus Cousins, correct?
No, it's Kevin Durant and Steph Curry.
But
mostly Kevin Durant.
they've had those two already before this year.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that DeMarcus Cousins is a good factor for them, but they had them all these years, and I thought that they were unbeatable all these years, primarily because of them. DeMarcus Cousins, I think, adds to that. Klay Thompson is obviously still capable of going off for 40 or 50 or however much he.
DeMarcus Cousins adds to that.
I do. I think so. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna read you a couple stats here.
I know where you're going.
And I want you to tell me if this adds to it or not. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Give me just a second here. So I'm completely correct? What the freak?
You going with the plus minus and all that stuff?
Oh, interesting. 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 You already knew what I was going.
Yep.
Huh.
Imagine if we went through life thinking things were as interesting as Hayden. I'd never have a dull day.
I think it's funny that he knows where I was going.
Yeah, no, I've heard it. I respect it, but I also think that he adds an element to the Warriors' offense that has to be taken into account, and I don't think teams are going to be able to account for it. Well, I shouldn't say that. They might be able to account for him, but I don't think they'll be able to still account for Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry.
It's been kind of an awkward fit.
Ever.
It's been a very awkward fit because they defend like a bottom 5 team in the NBA in defense with him on the floor with the starters.
I think
he brings them down by
it was going to be awkward.
by they get outscored by 10 points when he shares the floor with the starters.
So are you saying you don't think they're a better team with DeMarcus Cousins on the floor?
I think they're better when they play small ball and have Iggy or KD play 4 and then Draymond play the center. That's when they've been at their best. They can switch everything.
They're not better with DeMarcus Cousins on the court.
In terms of how they play, no.
Are they a better team overall with DeMarcus Cousins on the court?
No, the Warriors team scared me more, especially as I've watched them play. The Warriors team scared me more without DeMarcus Cousins. I don't know. Maybe y'all are higher DeMarcus Cousins than I am, but
they're not. So if you just had that starting lineup on paper and you looked at it, you're like, wow, this is incredible. They haven't been like that with DeMarcus Cousins. I think they're better with DeMarcus Cousins out there, but they're not like blow you out of the water just because I think you're right. Wasn't your point, Hayden, that they're not as good defensively?
And they get out.
Not necessarily because of DeMarcus Cousins, just because of what they roll out. Huh?
He's shooting poorly. He doesn't defend. They get outscored by 10 points when he's on the floor.
See, I wouldn't take it that far, but I do think they're not as good as they should be on paper with DeMarcus Cousins out there.
Yeah, I think that they should be better, but at the same time, I think that if you were to defend, if you were to be able to contain Steph Curry and Kevin Durant relatively well, I still think that the Warriors would be able to win because by containing those two, you would still have Klay Thompson and DeMarcus Cousins eating up the rest of the possessions. Defensively, I agree with you. I don't think he's a great defender. But offensively, I just think that this team's too versatile to lose to anybody in the West.
Yeah.
The East, I know that we'll get to that. But the East, I think maybe some teams could make it interesting. But I don't think that the West has any chance against.
So imagine how well a young, defensive-minded, agile center would fit with that team. Because I think Boogie's kind of an awkward fit. They don't need all that offensive power down there.
Yeah.
But if they had Rudy Gobert down there instead of DeMarcus Cousins, I think that would be a perfect fit for them.
Or even someone like DeAndre Jordan, who was in. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm tired of talking about the Warriors with you, Hayden.
Yep.
I think I need a break.
Golden State's in the finals. No surprise.
I'm just playing Hayden. But we can go ahead and go with the Bucks and the Pistons. They play today. And
get your brooms.
Yeah, that's a sweep.
It's a sweep.
I have Blake Griffin stealing one game.
Not a chance.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I'm still going
Blake Griffin will keep 2 games close, and they still get swept in 4.
He'll keep them both close to Detroit, and they win one and lose one. But either way, we have the Bucks moving on.
Bucks moving on. Sure.
I have Boston and Indiana.
Yep.
Boston.
I think Boston got really lucky with this matchup.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Boston
go with
in
Boston.
6.
I'll go Boston 5.
I agree with you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We all have Boston moving on.
Yep. The Nets
Blowing
and the
through
Sixers. We saw
Ooh,
the
this is a series.
take this one in game 1. I'll be honest with you. I thought the Sixers were going to take this in 5
Me too.
before the season, or sorry, before the series. I'm going Sixers in 6, but I mean, I have to take the Nets a little bit more seriously after being able to handily beat the 76ers on the road. They're still going to lose. It's okay, Hayden. We can do that now.
Hey,
Ice in the veins.
Hayden, you go last, Hayden, because this is your series. You called this one.
I did.
And let me just say, Ben Simmons is trash. That dude cannot play basketball. He's not trash, but I do not understand why everybody in the NBA world is so high on him. I don't see it at all.
6'10" point guard.
You know, in the playoffs, you have to be able to score.
Learn to shoot.
And so,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I if he can get a jump shot, he could be one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, imagine how stoppable a 6'10" point guard with a jump shot is. That is lethal.
Yeah.
But without it, it's embarrassing without it.
This team is a weird team because they're really talented, but they also have a lot of their game. So their best player is Joel Embiid, and he's phenomenal. I love Joel Embiid, and I think that he can win a championship. But at the same time, a lot of today's NBA is a perimeter game. It is for guys who shoot well. Joel Embiid can shoot decently well, but he's also he's more of a paint presence. And so then you also have Ben Simmons, who's more of a paint presence. Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris make things interesting, but when the two best players on your team aren't as strong outside, I think that makes for interesting matchups. Ian, do you have them winning? Who do you have winning? Wait, hold on.
Come to the dark side.
Hold on.
Come to the dark side.
Have you said who you have winning?
No.
Yeah.
No,
I haven't.
Yeah,
no,
go on.
I just know where he's at mentally, and I'm
Come to the dark side.
I think I'm there with him, man.
Come to the dark side.
Philadelphia looks awkward as a basketball team, and the Nets looked really, really good. So,
Ian, don't do this.
I already know what I'm doing. I'm trying to decide how many games I want to do it in.
Ian.
I'm going to take the Brooklyn Nets in 6. Yeah. Dude, they look good. It was
good. One game. Ian, I don't want to yell at you.
I know. But did you see how the Sixers looked?
And did you watch the end of the season as the Nets caught fire to get the 6th seed?
I did. Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's not like one team. It's not like one team looked better and the other one just didn't excel. The Sixers look bad, and the Nets look really good. And so I agree with you. It's just one game, but for that reason, I'm picking them, and because they looked really well at the end of the season.
Hayden.
And screw Ben Simmons. So
no, Ian, I'll be honest with you. I'm more mad at you because of what I'm looking at on the right side of my screen. Hayden's over here feeling like he's validated because of you, Ian.
I know. I
was already validated. I was right.
No, you were right. I'm sorry. Is the series over?
Kennedy, all I said was that the Nets are going to give people more issues than people think they will.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Okay. I agree. I never disagreed with that. But
I'm on board, baby. I'm on board.
All right. Did I get the pick?
Yes.
If he picks the Sixers, I'm gonna be so
He's gonna do
pissed.
something stupid.
He's gonna do it, dude.
All right. I have the Nets in 5.
I hate you. I hate you.
Next topic.
Jennifer.
Let's move on.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Holy
Ice
God.
in the veins. Ice in the veins.
I need to
Ice
get-
in the veins.
Can Jacob come back on the show?
He might pick with us on this one.
No.
He
If
might.
Jacob did, I would.
Might.
No. All right.
Not
Here's-
exactly the most intelligent. So
Hey, he's more intelligent than you. So
Kennedy, I called it. I literally called it almost a month ago.
We'll talk again when the Sixers win in 6, and then you'll be saying,
Oh, you mean when the Nets win in 5?
No, you're gonna do something. I'm gonna say something, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, what?" And I'm gonna say something that's clearly factual, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, okay."
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Just
And
like that.
it'll
And
be
then,
right.
and then he'll start pulling it's the okay. And then he starts with like the Hayden Klinkhammer leading questions where
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he knows what he wants to say. So he asks you a question, try to feed off of that, I guess. I don't know what it is.
6 y'all are both wrong, but we can go on to the Raptors and the Magic.
The Raptors in 5.
The Raptors 6.
I've got the Raptors in 5 as well.
Orlando had its game. That's that.
I would have said if it wasn't game
I would have
one,
said sweep.
I would have said sweep. But because they won game 1, I'm going to say they can get another one at home, and it'll be over in 6.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I think that game 1 was a good performance by the Magic, but I also think that Kyle Lowry, even if he just scores 9 points a game,
Better than 0.
yeah, they'll win. They'll win 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
Hayden, don't even. I don't even want you to ever give me that look again. I never.
He's
said
in such
Kyle
good
Lowry.
mood. Look at it, man.
Yeah.
I like being right.
About what?
First it was D'Angelo Russell. Then it was Kyle Lowry.
Oh, what did you say about Kyle Lowry?
He said he was going to
That
suck.
he's not. He's a bum.
He said he was going to
Conley
fall
is
apart in the playoffs, didn't
He's
he?
not a bum, but he
Yeah,
certainly
just
played
like he
a bum.
does every year. Just like he
Certainly
does
did.
every year.
All right. So we have the Bucks and the Celtics in round 2. Hayden, I want to hear your thoughts on that series first.
Bucks in 7. I think Boston presents a lot of challenges for the Bucks because Eric Bledsoe and Brogdon are gonna have to play defense, or Kyrie is gonna pick them apart.
Yeah.
And we've seen what happens to Brogdon when he's forced to play defense. His offense takes a step back.
You said Brogdon?
Yeah, I mean Bledsoe.
Oh, well, it's okay.
That may be the smartest thing I've ever heard Hayden say. I was a little confused there for a second, but you actually made a good point, dude. You made a good point. Good job.
Not Brogdon. I really like Brogdon. I think he's their second most important player on the team.
Brogdon is. You know how I said earlier in the season that Tobias Harris was the most underrated player in the league?
Malcolm Brogdon.
I might not go. I think I have someone else who's more underrated, but I'm not going to say that. We actually could discuss that another day. I think that'd be an interesting topic. But Brogdon is up there in that. I think
I agree.
He's more underrated players in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. He's up there. He's a really, really good player, and he's forgot about because of where he plays.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I completely agree. And he's not 6'11" and can dunk from the 3-point line, basically.
He won Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been talked about one time since.
Nope.
Because it was a weak rookie class. So
Yeah,
everyone's like,
also not
oh,
flashy.
exactly.
Yeah, you can't do this though, because it kind of. I mean, he was good, but it kind of was a weak rookie class.
It was. But what I'm saying is that doesn't take away from the fact that, you know,
He stepped up.
yeah. I mean,
Yep.
They won.
I think he's a lot better than people were giving him credit for coming into the NBA.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't think he was going to be good.
Because, like Kennedy said, he's not flashy.
Yeah,
So
I didn't think he was athletic enough. And
I agree. I think he's in the right situation also, so that helps. Budenholzer definitely helps that team.
Mm-hmm.
They're scary. I mean, I the past couple of years I've been saying, you know, they're a season away from taking the next step. This is, you know, the start of that.
This is when do you think they take the next step? Hey, just an FYI, Portland's winning by 14 in the second quarter.
Against Oklahoma City?
Yes.
That's okay. They'll figure it out.
Hold on, I said McCollum was going to be in the 30s.
Wait, sorry.
Please.
McCollum, is he going off?
He's got 11.
Okay.
I said he was going to be in the 30s.
I wonder if they have Paul George on him. They should put him on. I'm telling you, they should do it.
They should. Paul George has got 4 points, 1 of 6 from the field.
Yeah.
Steven Adams is having a good game. He's 5 of 6 for 11 down low.
Interesting.
Russell Westbrook's pulling a Russell Westbrook. He's 1 for 5 for 2 points.
Yeah.
There you go.
Boston in 7.
Boston. I'm going.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Same thing. Hayden, you said that they're going to have to defend, or they're going to have to defend to stop Kyrie. I don't think they do. I think Kyrie picks them apart. I think there's a lot of talent on Boston, and they just haven't been able to fully tap into it yet. And I don't think they necessarily do, but I think they all play well enough to win when it's on the line and they're playing the best team in the East.
There you go.
Because I think they already look at themselves as the best team in the East, as they should. Because they probably are the most talented. Yeah, they probably are the most talented. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Boston. I'm going to say Boston beats Milwaukee in 7.
Okay, I'm going Milwaukee in 7, and I think that so Kyrie could go off, and Kyrie in the playoffs is phenomenal. Kyrie any time of the year is really great, but playoff Kyrie has shown that he can play. Yeah, he is different. I think that Giannis is maybe one of the most unguardable players in the league. I don't know if he is the most unguardable, but nobody's going to stop him in the paint. And I think that they have enough pieces around him. Chris Middleton is very underrated. Malcolm
I agree.
Is very underrated. Nobody really talks about Eric Bledsoe, but I think that team is very underrated. And I actually think that the supporting cast of Kyrie is a little bit overrated. I don't think that Jalen.
I agree with that as well.
Incredible.
I agree with that as well.
Talented. Jason Tatum I think that people jumped on his bandwagon a little too early.
His rookie year, they really jumped on, and he hadn't really done much since.
There was reason. He was certainly good, but I didn't think that he was going to jump in this season and be an all-star superstar player that people were expecting him to be, and he wasn't this season. He was pretty good, but I think that Chris Middleton right now is better than him, and I think
100%.
You think so?
100%.
I think that he is. I think that Malcolm Brogdon.
I'm not as high on Jason Tatum as I think a lot of other people are.
Yeah, but he could. I'm not discounting that.
I
but
agree.
I just don't think
I
that
agree.
he's
I agree.
right there now. And
Chris Middleton's good. I don't think he's as good as Jason Tatum.
I think he's better. I think he is.
He's better.
And his defense, I think, is a little bit better.
And he's a better defender. Yeah.
He's also a very underrated passer. Jason Tatum is more talented, but I think Chris Middleton is better, and I think that Malcolm Brogdon, like I said, is one of the more underrated players. He can defend, and his percentages are great. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that his numbers were in the 50-40-90 club this year. I don't know if he
was close. He was close.
He was either in there or he was very close, but he's a super efficient player, and they can defend. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they can shoot threes. And then you have Giannis doing what he does in the paint.
And go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. I'm almost done, but that with the home court advantage, I think will go in Milwaukee's favor, along with maybe Boston's dysfunction up to this season. I just haven't seen it from a functionality standpoint, and I just tend to believe that the Bucks will will take it in the end.
I guess we'll go with Milwaukee.
That's how I felt when y'all freaking picked the Nets.
Speaking of the Nets, Hayden, are you going to do it again?
Do they play Toronto?
They play
Yeah.
Toronto.
Oh, I like.
Oh no.
I like. I'll go last.
Hayden, go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you know what, Hayden? If you want to go last, I'll go ahead and get this one out of the way. Hey, let's see, it's Toronto and the Nets. I'm going to go Toronto in like 5. If the Nets get there, then I think that props to them, but I don't think that they'll be able to get past Kawhi Leonard. You know how I love Kawhi.
Interesting, Kawhi.
That team is also deep. Kyle Lowry needs to perform a little bit better in the playoffs. I think we can all admit that. Siakam is still a really good player. You got Marc Gasol on the team. Serge Ibaka has been playing really well. Danny Green, experienced player who shoots threes very well. They just have a lot of players who can play very good. Let's see. Yeah, no, Kawhi Leonard, just like Kyrie, is a different player in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a switch that he flips, and he's a very good player in the playoffs.
Just like that year whenever he carried LeBron to the title.
I'm sorry?
Whenever he carried LeBron to the title?
Yeah, Kyrie, just like he's like Kawhi. You know, that year that Kyrie carried LeBron to the title?
Oh, okay.
You don't remember that?
Blasphemous, but all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have happened without him. So.
But
all right, go ahead, Ian.
If the Nets get past them, then I think D'Angelo Russell, I'm gonna have to bow down to him on this podcast. I really will. You know.
Alrighty.
Hey, it's recorded. It's recorded.
Yeah, we're gonna hold to do that.
It won't happen, but
wait, did he say if he wins in the first round or in this round?
The second.
Okay.
He gets to the Eastern Conference Finals.
What happens? What happens if it goes to 7?
If it goes to 7?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything for 7.
What about a shout out? You got to give a shout out to D'Angelo
I'll give
Russell.
him a shout out. I'll give him a shout out. Yeah,
Okay.
I respect him, but I think that would be really impressive to me.
To get to 7?
To get past the first round in the first place, I think that says something about D'Angelo Russell. But to get to 7 in the second round with a team that supporting cast really isn't that good. If he gets to 7 in the second round,
they're okay. They're underrated. They're not a terrible team.
That gets a really they're okay, but they're 7th in the East for a reason. They're not that great. That deserves a shout out.
They're actually 6th, but that's okay.
6, my bad.
In the second round, the 2019 NBA playoffs, the Brooklyn Nets will win not enough games to beat Toronto, and they'll probably lose in 6. Because Toronto is just too talented. D'Angelo Russell's luck runs out. It's going to be like those teams in March Madness that you're not expecting to win, and then they come out balling, and they do great in that one game. They're riding high going forward, and it's just not enough because they run into a team that's definitely much more talented than they are. And Toronto wins in 6.
That was close.
Kennedy was about ready to lose it. Kennedy was about to lose it. Hayden,
your goofy face needs to get off my camera. Go ahead and speak.
Hayden, go ahead, buddy.
The Brooklyn Nets fought very hard to get to this point.
Y'all's work.
And it goes 7 games.
Come on.
And they win in 7 games. I love it! Let's go! The Brooklyn Nets win in 7 games to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's awesome. God, I hope he's right. That would be so cool.
But y'all both picked Toronto, so Toronto moves on. But
Yeah.
that is my
Why?
that is my prediction.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't even have to speak. I'll just show you.
I want you to tell the podcast listeners, maybe someone who isn't watching but maybe listening.
Because D'Angelo Russell has balls of steel and has ice in his veins, and Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard do not.
Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. I think my heart just skipped a beat when you just said Kawhi Leonard does not have balls.
Did you say Kawhi doesn't have balls of steel? Are you dumb?
I don't think Kawhi has balls of steel. I think he's a decent player down the stretch. I don't think he's as good as everyone gives him credit for. He quit on a team. He literally quit on a team.
If I played for San Antonio, I'd quit too.
That's because you hate San Antonio.
Maybe he hates San Antonio.
How do you hate a team that literally gave you a Finals MVP? They gave it to him.
You have to win the Finals MVP first off.
Yeah,
Kennedy,
Who's the youngest player to win Finals MVP?
Kennedy, what did he do in that series? What did he do in that series? He scored 18 points a game and won Finals MVP.
Yeah,
and allowed LeBron to go off
really well.
Consistent.
He was one of the only players who could really kind of defend LeBron.
Oh, when he went for 35 and 9.
Yeah, sure.
Didn't LeBron almost win Finals MVP after a loss? Wasn't that year?
Yeah, that was that year.
Okay, well,
that was awesome.
Leonard,
he was carrying. So. He put that team on his back, and it was not even close to enough. Yeah. That's sweet, but okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Got Milwaukee and Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Even though it's Milwaukee and Brooklyn, but go ahead.
Toronto will go to the finals. Toronto will win, and let's give the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's give it 7 games. Milwaukee, I think I picked against them almost immediately. No, against Boston. So I think one of your 2 Eastern Conference champions are going to be Boston or Milwaukee, or Boston or Toronto. So if we would have went with Boston when I picked them, I think they would have beat Toronto. But since it's Milwaukee, I'll go with Toronto winning. Same reasons we've already argued. Milwaukee, you're going to have to start playing defense eventually. And I think there's a lot of skill on the Raptors roster, so I'm going to go with them. Hayden's gone. You okay? You're not okay, are you?
Where did he go?
I don't know. You seem a little upset, though.
Me?
Yeah. Buddy, Kennedy, you're frozen. Hayden, is he frozen on yours?
What?
Is Kennedy frozen on your screen?
Say what?
Is Kennedy frozen on your screen?
Yes.
All right. So, did you hear my pick?
Yeah, you have Toronto?
Yeah, I went with Toronto over Milwaukee. I guess you go ahead.
Okay, I'll go with Milwaukee over Toronto because I don't think Toronto will be there, but
Happened.
I don't know.
Oh, it's recording still, so that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Kind of
sorry for
froze
the
up on
technical difficulties to anyone who was listening, but there was kind of a lapse in the recording, but we're still going, so what did I miss in that, 30 seconds or so?
You heard me. I went with Toronto over Milwaukee. Hayden went with Milwaukee over Toronto, so you will be the one to settle this.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to go for the first time in maybe my life. I'm actually going to agree with Hayden. I'm putting Toronto in the finals. Where
No!
No. That
I
was Ian.
said Toronto. He said Milwaukee.
did I say Toronto? Sorry, excuse me. Let me go back. Let me go back. For the first time in my life, I'm going to agree with Hayden and put Milwaukee in the finals. And I don't know what his reasons were, so I might be repeating some of the same things. But Ian, I actually think that Milwaukee is a very good defensive team, and I think that I mean, so the Raptors might be too, but I'm just so impressed with Giannis this year as far as in paint presence, and I think that this team is a team that I think is built to get. They have let's see, 6 players who are all averaging over 10 points a game. Um, George Hill's coming off the bench. I forgot about him. He's not really that impressive this year, but that's still some experience that they have. Giannis though, it's all about Giannis. I as good as Kawhi
The
Leonard.
league MVP.
Yeah. I mean, he might be, and I know that we talked about that, and I said that he wouldn't be, but if he did, I think that he'd be deserving of it. And
I picked him. I said he was going to be the MVP.
Yeah. And I just I have a hard time seeing really anybody guarding him. And I don't think that the Raptors have enough to overpower the surrounding pieces that the Bucks have for Giannis. Like I said, Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, Malcolm Brogdon. I think that they all add a really good element of three-point shooting around Giannis. And like I said, Giannis is pretty much unstoppable in the paint.
Yeah.
Defensively, that's a really good defensive team. I'm going to go with them in 7. And I guess we have the Warriors and the Bucks.
The Warriors and the Bucks.
Warriors and the Bucks. And this is where Hayden, I think. This is where, dog. Yeah, I think that dog should bite you for what you're about to do.
No, she agrees with me.
No,
Right?
no, she wants to bite.
Thank you. She agrees with me.
I don't think Milwaukee is even going to be there, but if they get there, it'll be Golden State in 5.
5, okay. Well, if they get there, if let's just play with the hypothetical of if Toronto gets there, what do you think would happen?
Toronto may get 2. Dude, I'm telling you, I do not see. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all the teams on my paper. I cannot think of a valid reason to say any one of these teams can beat Golden State in a 7-game series.
I completely agree with you. I think that Golden State is. I think that they would beat. I think that I would go. I'll be a little chancy here. I'll go with Golden State over Milwaukee in 6. I'll give them 2 games, and I was thinking 5 at first, but I think that maybe they'll be able to get them for 2.
It could be 6. That wouldn't surprise me.
Either one of those. I don't think it'll go to 7, and I think that like you said, I don't think that there's anybody who's capable of taking the Warriors down in a 7-game series.
There's not. Hayden's going to bring some blasphemous up now, but it's blasphemy. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's going to say, Boogie.
Our viewers
Boogie.
Seen our Twitter conversation.
Uh-huh.
But I remember someone tweeted Hayden, and he replied to it, and he was like, "Hey, he said something along the lines of Dirk," and I was like, I feel like this all the time. I genuinely wonder if you've ever watched a whole basketball game ever in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you say things that make I'm like, how people that watch basketball frequently, how do they think this? It blows my mind. But go ahead, because I know this is going to be one of those things.
Anyway, we're not even going to get into Dirk because I'm going to embarrass y'all about him. But, I don't think I don't think Dirk deserves that because he is a top 25 player.
He drops farther on your list every time we talk.
And
next podcast he's going to say top 30.
No. He's top 25. And he stayed with one organization, so I have to give him credit for that. But we're not talking about Dirk. And they're gone. This is what happens when you make Dallas fans mad. They just rage and walk away.
Hayden,
I don't like listening to
See?
blast.
They rage
This
and walk
is you.
away. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with Dallas fans.
This is you. All right.
I don't waste my time listening to blasphemy.
All right.
6th all-time score. You know, I remember when we did our top 15 all-time? I said
Yeah.
Dirk 15.
Yes.
I did some more thinking. I think I'm putting him at 12. I think I had Karl Malone over him, and then I realized that was dumb.
That is dumb.
Yeah, so I'm going to
But-
go.
They're warming up.
But anyway, go on. Did you say what you need to say about the Bucks?
Golden State wins in 7. I think they win in.
Part
They
of all
win in
this crap that he
7
built up.
because y'all act like Golden State is invincible, and I don't think they're invincible.
Yeah, but I remember you saying, I think last time we spoke, we talked about this topic, I think you said that Golden State was going to lose. I think you picked against them.
I think
And I
picked
think
I did. I did
I
pick
think it was
against
Milwaukee that you picked. Or did they even make it to the finals in yours? You may have picked Houston.
I know what I did last time.
them. No, they made it to the finals. I had them losing in the finals, but
Yeah,
Milwaukee?
to the
Yeah,
Raptors.
to-
I had the
to the
Raptors going
Raptors.
last time, and then I changed my mind. And
Yeah.
so let me ask
So
you
I'm
this.
the only one that's still on Toronto?
yeah, I'm more high on Milwaukee than Toronto.
I think I've grown to be more high on them. Hayden, if the Raptors did make it to the finals, what would your prediction be?
They lose in 5, maybe 6.
So, which of these teams can beat Golden State? Because you said they're beatable. Who would beat Golden State?
I didn't say they will be beaten. I said they're
but you
beatable.
said- I know you said they're beatable. So who do you think could beat them?
Milwaukee could beat them.
Okay.
Houston could beat them.
You just said Houston's not going to get out of the first round.
It's matchup wise. I think it's matchup wise. I think Golden State's kind of soft. Outside of Draymond Green, the rest of them are kind of soft.
I just wonder how. Oh, never mind. I was going to make a bad joke. I stopped myself.
Okay, I like your bad jokes.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah, but
Yeah, well, I'm glad we can all agree that Golden State is going to win. Hopefully, Kevin Durant leaves because I'm tired of seeing that team in the championship. Maybe even Klay Thompson leaves, which would be interesting if he went to the Bucks. I think that would be really, really interesting. Because Hayden, you said that you think that this is their year, and
their
said
year,
that you
yeah.
passed
I
on
think I
their
think
year away.
I think it's the start of their time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Because
it could be even better to get someone like Klay Thompson.
I agree. I think they'd be the favorite if they got Clay.
That would be
Klay Thompson wants to be a Dallas Maverick.
I
God,
I think
hope so.
I think they would be the favorites if they got Clay, and they were able to keep everyone.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Dallas Mavericks, this is our last topic.
Yes.
We
Yes.
So of course, us being all from Dallas, and a lot of our viewers being from Dallas, we want to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. So obviously, Dirk retired. We have a lot of free agents that we're going to see pop up in Dallas. You have potentially Dwight Powell. He can either opt into his contract or discussing potentially signing him.
Yeah. They've
and-
said he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
So
they've
we'll
said
see.
it's not going to go anywhere. But other than that, the only people who you really have coming back are Luka, more than likely Chris Stapps, although he's a free agent. You have Justin Jackson, Jalen Brunson, and there might be 1 or 2 role players other than that. But
Yeah.
for the most part, this team is in a prime season for rebuilding.
Which is
And
awesome.
They have at a lottery pick. I think it's in the 20%-ish range to get a top 4 pick. So with that being prefaced, I would love to hear everybody's opinion on where the Mavs should go and what their future looks like.
before we start, I just want to say I invested a lot of time trying to figure out what the Mavericks are going to do and try to catch a feel for the direction they're moving on. And over the past 5 years, it's been really hard.
Very hard
to guess anything they're going to do because they'll, it's just they're never predictable. The Luka trade, I didn't see the Luka trade coming. I was hoping if Luka was to fall in the top 5, he was my dream pick. He is exactly who I wanted out of that draft.
We talked about that going into the draft.
Yeah, and how I was so high on him. I was a little nervous just because you know how the European players are. Sometimes you'll have some that look outstanding and you don't hear about them 2 years later, or you'll have some like Giannis who just turn into superstars. But that was the only thing I really saw coming. Other than that, they traded for Kristaps. I don't think anybody saw that coming. That was completely out of left field.
I tweeted that 30 minutes before it happened. I just want you to know. But
did you?
Yeah, I was also
tweet about it. What did you say?
Joking. I said something. Wojnarowski listed the teams that Kristaps was likely to get traded to, and Dallas wasn't listed. And so I retweeted it and said something like, "So what you're telling me is that he's going to be Mav." Yeah. And then 30 minutes later, he became a Dallas Maverick. So I was kind of joking, but I thought that the Mavs would at least try. So
yeah. So I mean, we did that, but other than that, you really don't expect the moves they're going to make. But I think they're in a really good position moving forward, just because they have those 2 young centerpieces. You've got role players like Dwight Powell. I like Trey Burke. I don't know if Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be around for a while. I suspect he's not going to be. I suspect he'd be gone.
Yeah, that's another player who will be returning.
Justin Jackson. We got him when we saved some money with the Harrison Barnes trade. Hayden, have you watched the Mavericks game since he's been on? Since he started getting playing time? He played really well.
He's been doing pretty well. Yes.
Okay. And then so after that trade, we got some spending money in free agency. Your boy Brogdon, I think he's restricted this offseason.
He's restricted.
I don't know how much Milwaukee's willing to pay him moving forward. But depending on who's available for Dallas, they might be willing to spend big on somebody if they can get him away from the team they're on, if they believe in him. Yeah. And need some help at center. We've got size, but not the right kind of size, if that makes sense.
Kristaps?
Yeah, exactly. He's big. Is he 7 foot? He's 7 foot, right?
He's a very, very tall person.
But he's not the kind of size I'm talking. The big size, the down low size. You can just feed down there. He's long. So we need somebody along those lines because Dwight Powell's. I like Dwight Powell, but he's not going to be our starting center. And then you need shooting. Yeah, but he's got to fill out. And I don't know. I would love Klay Thompson to give us a look because that would be ideal.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go down the Kevin Durant pipe dream. It's not an option. And there's a few of those. Kawhi's not an option, but that's kind of where I really like where they stand. It's going to be 2 or 3 years before they can really compete. Who knows? They could definitely make the playoffs next year. But there's plenty of teams that make the playoffs and they don't compete.
It depends. I think it depends on if they get a pick. If they get a draft pick and let's just throw wild chances out there. They get the number 1 overall pick and you get Zion. Then you have Luka, Zion, and Kristaps. That's a low percentage chance. So I'm not counting on it. But if that is, that's a team that I think could contend if you get another free agent with them.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to count on that. I think that I'm just going to go assuming they don't get a draft pick.
Yeah.
Free agency, I think. Well, I'll talk about the draft pick, but I'm not going to talk about it now. Free agency, I think that the Mavs would probably go after Kevin Durant I don't think they'll get them, but I think they'll at least give a call, see if he's interested, and see if he would be interested in visiting, having a meeting. And I
Probably
think
not going to turn into anything.
something. But I think that Kevin Durant, it sounds like he's probably leaning towards the. After him, I think that you have the possibility of getting someone like Kemba Walker, Chris Middleton.
Yeah, but do you want Kimba though?
I would like.
I
Kemba.
like Kemba.
The
I'm
question
worried about the way he would fit with the team the same way I would be worried about how like John Morant would fit with the team.
See, I would. So Kemba Walker, the question about him is not necessarily he'll be able to score no matter where he goes. I think the question about him is that is he able to play off the ball? And because Luka and him are both going to have to
Luka's going to be your primary ball handler. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if he can play off the ball, then and I think that he can. I could be wrong, but we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it because he's never had to play off the ball. He's been the primary guy.
And that's unfortunate, I think, for him because I think he gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if he's willing to come and play for Carlisle and buy into the offense, then I think that he would be a good fit with Mavs. But I think that he's up there in terms of free agents that the Mavs would want to look for. I think Chris Middleton would be a beautiful fit.
I agree.
Would be an absolutely beautiful fit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Bucks would be more likely to let Chris Middleton go to Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah.
Because Middleton, if they give him a 4 or 5 year contract, that would have him there till he's about 32 or 33. And Brogdon is a little bit younger. If they gave him a long contract, he'd be there till he's about 29 or 30. He's also, both of them are efficient players, but I think Brogdon is slightly more efficient. And
I agree.
I think that they would probably lean towards signing him, but I would love to see Chris Middleton. Ultimately, though, I think that they get one. I think I'd like to believe that they get one of those players. You could even maybe throw in Tobias Harris as a contending guy that the Mavs could go after. But there are a lot of options that the Mavs could go after this season in the free agency. The draft is a question. If they get the pick, I would probably rank the choices Zion, Ja Morant, RJ Barrett, and then DeAndre Hunter. I would probably go DeAndre Hunter right now in terms of Mavs and what they would want. But like I said, I don't think that they're going to get a draft. They could get a draft pick. I can't say that definitively. But I think that the future, regardless of what happens in the draft, is a very bright one for the Mavs because they've done a good job of making the team younger. They have 2 guys who could potentially be superstars. I don't know. Luka could be. Kristaps might be. And then you have cap space. See, I think there's something wrong with Ian.
Yeah, he was frozen.
He was frozen. Yeah. But basically, what I think. Should I wait till he gets back?
No, just keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Basically, what I think is that the Mavs have space. They have young talent. Justin Jackson is someone I'm actually really happy that we got because I think that it's important to get those young role players who can learn the system and contribute. You can build a starting lineup all you want, but if you don't have the depth, what's up, Ian? Hey. If you don't have the depth, then you're kind of screwed. And I think Justin Jackson is someone who can be a role player for the Mavs for a good time.
I agree with that.
So it'll just depend. I think the Mavs are in a good direction. It's just going to depend. Can they get the free agents this summer? And will Dwight Powell stay? That's really what it comes down for him is how big his contract is going to be. But I've talked enough. I would like to hear your thoughts on the Mavs.
Me?
Yeah, sorry. Hayden, I would like to hear your thoughts.
Obviously a lot more educated on them than I am. I didn't, I could see them landing a second tier star, I guess, like a Chris Middleton or, maybe even Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
But I think Clay is probably also in the same dream world as Kevin Durant because I think in order for Clay to leave, I think he either goes to a big market like New York or an LA or I don't even know who else has cap space. Philly maybe if they don't re-sign Tobias or Jimmy Butler. But because I wouldn't see why he would leave a situation like that to go to a lower tier team necessarily. Because even I think Luka is a fantastic player. Like I've said many times, when LeBron retires, he would probably be my favorite player. I love the way Luka plays basketball. Kristaps was on the rise up, torn ACL. You know, can go either way. We can't hear you, Ian.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I don't know what that
All
was.
right. What'd you say?
I said,
sorry.
Can Kristaps be the same player? That's what it's going to come down to. That's going to be a lot of future turns into because we really banked in pretty hard on that. We didn't give away a ton.
I think no matter what, he'll be better than Dennis Smith.
Oh yeah.
Even if he's 70% of what he once was, I don't think he needs to be quite what he once was because I think Luka will be the guy, and he'll be option B, I guess.
Yeah, but I'd like for him to be, if he was 90% of what he was, because he was still young, developing. You don't really know what he was going to be. So I really would like to just keep developing and turn into like a better shell of what he was, just because I feel like he's capable of it. And then I agree with you that Klay Thompson's kind of a pipe dream. It's not really that attainable.
I wouldn't say it's quite a low chance as Kevin Durant because I think if Kevin Durant leaves, he's going to New York.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think he does leave, but that's a different topic for a different day. I think he leaves, he goes to New York.
Yeah.
So in that case, I think it takes a big market to get Clay away from being option 2 again.
Yeah.
But
I think so. As far as Kristaps goes, I think Kristaps, the way that medical knowledge has expanded over the past, even just 5 to 10 years, has been phenomenal. And ACL injuries used to be something that could end your career. Now it's something that it gets in the way and it certainly hurts you. But I don't think that it will take away from his on the court performance unless he has more of them. And that's the question to me is, what are his chances of re-injury after this?
And I think durability is because I don't know
how that goes.
How often was he? I feel like he was injured a lot even before he tore his ACL.
Yeah,
I feel like he had minor injuries,
but it wasn't like anything serious.
Yeah, he never had any serious injuries, but he did miss some games. I'm confident in the Mavs athletic training staff. They've been one of the better athletic training staffs in the league, or at least they've been known as one of the better athletic training staffs in the league, besides maybe Phoenix for a long time. And I think that they'll know how to handle Kristaps and handle his minutes, handle his rehabilitation and things like that. I think Kristaps will be fine, but I could be wrong. You never know. Injuries are always kind of a question mark. I think that those two are two great guys to build your team around. It's just, to me, this is the big offseason. The Mavs are going to have to figure out who that third person is going to be. Because once you pay Kristaps and then you have to fill out the rest of the cap space with other free agents if you don't get, a third superstar, third, all-star. Then next season, I don't think that they have the same amount of cap space, and you're kind of locked in with the same roster.
Yeah, and if you pay the wrong guy, it's really going to slow down the entire process.
Yeah, and so you have to figure out something this offseason and pray that you get a draft pick or one or the other. But ultimately, even if you just fill out the roster with a bunch of really good role players, I think that this team could still be a pretty solid playoff team for a good amount of time. And then maybe if super teams start to disperse a little bit, maybe the Mavs
And I think they will.
With those two. Yeah, and I think they could too as well. So honestly, I guess my conclusion is there are a whole lot of question marks. I think that we're at a good start, but I think that it also largely depends on what the rest of the league does as well.
Yep.
And
so
how lucky the Mavs get with the draft pick.
Yeah, it's 150%. There were people after the Kristaps trade that were like Dallas is going to compete next year, and they're going to be one of the better teams. I don't agree. I think what we have right now is exactly what you called it. It's just a start. There's still a lot of things that need to be figured out and a lot of spots that need to be filled out before we're ready to compete. But I love where they're sitting at right now. I think it's a really good spot to begin with. I think they could be building a team that 3 years from now could be set to compete for a long, long time moving forward. It's just getting to that point is going to be the interesting part. Tough part's out of the way. You got your big pieces.
Yeah. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee are also two question marks because while Tim Hardaway Jr. is okay, Courtney Lee, both of them take up a lot of cap space. And so if you can do something with their contracts, I don't think they can. But if you could, then that could also be a game changer. They have a lot of options. So we'll see. But
could they not stretch Courtney Lee's contract? I thought I read something that they could.
That's a great point. They could do that, and most teams I don't think like to do that because it costs you a little bit long term. But if they were able to get somebody, say for some reason Klay Thompson said he was interested in Dallas, I think that would be something that they could look into. Even if it was someone like Kemba Walker or someone like that, I could see them making the stretch wave thing happen.
My question for you, Kennedy, and you, I guess, too, Ian, but I know Kennedy's high on him. Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah.
Would you consider him to be the third piece to build around?
That's a great question.
It depends what the rest of the league turns into, because, like you said, if everyone's building super teams where your third best option is Klay Thompson, then no, he's not even close.
Okay, so let me put it this way. Let's say it starts to go away from the super teams, and even at most, let's say the Knicks get Kyrie and Kevin Durant, but and then a bunch of other role players, obviously. The Warriors would still what?
He could develop into a. He's not going to be a high tier third option, I don't think, but he definitely could develop into a solid third option.
What if? Okay, so my next
Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah. So my next point, feeding off of what Ian just said. So let's say you have Luka, you have Kristaps as the 1 and the 2 options.
Yeah.
Brogdon, we can put even like a 3B, maybe not necessarily a great third option, but he's solid and he's consistent.
Yeah,
and he doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective.
If Kemba was willing to play off the ball, I think he would be a perfect third option. Yeah, that's a high tier third option.
I agree, but to me, that's you only do that if you feel like the rest of the league is going to be super teams.
Wow. Yeah. So actually, I'd like to answer about.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think that Brogdon could be a third option if we get the rest of the roster in place as well.
That was just going to be my next point.
That was
if you're able to sign Brogdon for less than you would say Kemba, but you can spend more money on role guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you could get great role players like the Raptors and the Bucks have right now, then I think that Brogdon could be that third guy if Kristaps is healthy and Luka develops the way that we think he is. But like Ian said, if the rest of the league, if you see a team of, I don't know, say something ridiculous happens and you have Kyrie decide he wants to go to the Lakers and then Anthony Davis gets traded over there. I don't think that'll happen, but just, if that happened and the third best player on that team was Kyrie Irving, then I agree. And I think that Malcolm Brogdon would not be a good third overall, third option on a championship team. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I think that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving would be maybe the next best super team, if you will, maybe Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. But that's okay. Those teams are still beatable. And so that's why I think that Brogdon could be a good third option. Could be.
So my next question, kind of along what you just said, this is kind of off the Maverick topic, but
yeah,
if let's say, so Kyrie and Kevin Durant go to New York, they fill out the roster with the role guys. Golden State is only able to keep Steph, and I guess they re-signed DeMarcus because they'll lose Klay. So they re-signed DeMarcus, and Klay goes to the Lakers.
Okay.
What is your feeling about that?
Because that's
from the Mavericks' perspective, and then the rest of the NBA's perspective.
So you said Klay Thompson goes to the Lakers, Durant goes to the Knicks, and the Warriors re-sign DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, and Kyrie goes to the Knicks.
And Kyrie goes. Okay.
All of a sudden, the West is wide open. Well, not wide open. There's still teams that are, teams to be reckoned with, but you don't have this powerhouse in Golden State anymore. So from the Mavs perspective, I think you think, okay, this is perfect timing because we don't need to do it right now. But you start to see the window. You start to see the possibility of moving on through the West and competing for a championship. Because right now it's like you have these just 2-3 teams, Golden State far and beyond being number one, where you can't really compete with an up-and-coming roster. You've kind of already got to be there. But,
yeah,
I mean, if it breaks up like that, you see how you're starting to be able to compete.
Yeah. I wouldn't be sold on – I think that I wouldn't be sold on the death of super teams just yet if that happened. No. And the reason why is because you still have Anthony Davis looking at either going to the Lakers or the Knicks. So, so the Lakers could have Klay Thompson, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, or the Knicks could have Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, maybe Zion, and Anthony Davis. And I think that Anthony Davis would more likely go to the Lakers, just based on the rumors that we've heard. But he could go to the Knicks. But let's just say he went to the Lakers. I think that if it were LeBron and Anthony Davis, that's a great team and that's a championship contending team. But it's also a beatable team. And
I agree.
think that would the biggest danger to me is where does Klay Thompson go? Because if he goes to either of those two teams, then I think super teams are going to follow one of the two teams.
Yeah. So do you think the team of LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Klay Thompson and a bunch of role guys is unbeatable?
I don't know if I'm unbeatable. I'm actually
good.
That's a very good team. I think that should be I think that would be the favorite team. And I think that the more we see them, the more we would be able to answer that question and say if they're beatable or not.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I don't know if y'all have any more thoughts or not, but no. Okay.
I'm puttered out now.
Yeah. So there's a long podcast there, and we.
Hey! Flash that ring for everybody real quick.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kennedy.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
But thank you for anyone who listened. And just a reminder, I didn't mention at the beginning, but don't go Nets actually. But if you're interested in Josh's 5-on-5 tournament, send Hayden a text, just expressing interest. It doesn't matter what you say, but Yeah, that's really all I have. So thank you for anyone
Two things.
joined today. What'd you say?
Two things before we begin.
Okay.
One, speaking on this part of super teams, we broke up Hayden's super team for this tournament. So I've got
Ian's gonna get this L.
I've got my own team now, and we're going to take it to him. Hey, and you know what? If anybody's interested, feel free to text me. I've got one open roster spot. I might use it to steal Kennedy away from Hayden.
I've already told Hayden I'm going to stick with his team.
He might do the respectable thing. I know how he feels about Kevin Durant, so he probably won't be doing that.
Yeah.
But one open roster spot, we're going to smoke Hayden's team over there. And my last thing is congrats to Tiger Woods because that was awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So thank you, Dirk, for all the years.
Thank you, Dirk Nowitzki. If we get big and he watches this, let me tell you, there's not a person on this planet that I love more than Dirk Nowitzki.
Yep.
Thank you, Dirk.
Fans, yep.
Even
Thank you, Dirk.
though you're a top 25 player.
Yeah,
that's a huge accomplishment. That is a huge accomplishment. I don't know why y'all act like being top 25 is not a. No.
It's a huge deal, but I think it's respectful for what he's done.
The reason why is because I have him 12, and so if you have him top 25, that's kind of like cutting in half what I think that he is. If you understand what I'm saying.
I think he's probably
that's a great accomplishment.
He's probably 21 or 22 on my list, which is that's absolutely massive.
Why were you hurt when I said LeBron was number 4? Being number 4 player all time is a huge accomplishment.
Because LeBron is not number 4.
Dirk's not number 22.
Okay, that's a different topic for a different day.
Well, thank you for everyone who joined.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. We will see y'all next few days. Thank you.